Hey guys, it's 21 Maxwell here, back again with another WWE updates video. We are on day 13 of the WWE World Grand Prix. It is the 7th round of fixtures for Block A. We are in the closing run, the home straight towards our grand final. And in this section, it is looking like it is going to come down to the likes of Sami Zayn, Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. Two of them, of course, world champions, so one of them could potentially ensure they get to pick their opponent going forward. So that's going to be interesting. So a three-way tie, only enough a tie at the top. The standings will be in the description below from the first 6 rounds of fixtures. But it's another good night. We've got Cesaro against Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk, Roman Reigns. So a lot of big matches here. Obviously we'll hype up the Roman Reigns CM Punk match because obviously Punk's return was based a lot around Roman Reigns. So we'll properly get that storyline revisited basically. But it's a full show again, 188 minutes. We've got the 5v5 pre-show opener and we're in the Carrier Dome this week. So hopefully a good show here. As I say, we're getting closer and closer to that grand final. Today actually, well, the last show I booked, SmackDown, was the first time I had a show that lost pop. So I think we need some more over names on the SmackDown brand, and that may be happening as a result of the end of this tournament. But we'll kick it on anyway. It is day 13. Let's go. So 47,216 at the Carrier Dome. And we start off with a decent pre-show match, and it's the team of Chris Sabin, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Tetsuya Naito, and Tomohiro Ishii. They've defeated the team of Dashi Hashimoto, Hayata Jr. Fujita, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Zack Sabre Jr. in 1727, when Carl Anderson defeated Zack Sabre Jr. by pinfall with an Anderson spinebuster. A pretty good B-76, giving some of the upper and mid-carders an opportunity to shine. Samoa Joe was off his game. Sabre Jr. with a 73, 71 for Samoa Joe, 68 for Jeff Hardy, 70 for Fujita, 74 for Hashimoto, Ishii with a 68, Naito with an 80, Gallows with a 70, and a 75 for Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and a 67 for Chris Sabin. Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe both improving technical skills, while Carl Anderson improves his performance skills. Overall, a good chance for them to showcase their talents, a few poor gimmicks, a few inconsistencies and low morale, but still a decent rating for the pre-show. So we start the show with, of course, CM Punk and Roman Reigns having a few heated words before their main event match. This obviously got the show off to a strong start. It got the crowd hotter, and it continues that storyline for the WWE Championship. A-Star 100, absolutely delighted there. Basically here, obviously Roman was defeating The Rock at WrestleMania. Punk came back the day after and just said, well, the reason I left was people like you that we had to make strong. So, prove yourself, etc. And, they've been at it in promos and stuff the last wee while. So, only negative was the low heat of the storyline, but overall, A100, it does the job. So the opening contest in this block today had some great wrestling and good heat, and it saw Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Alberto Del Rio in 14:52 via submission with a cross arm lock. A B-79, Del Rio was slowed down by his injury. The match got the crowd hotter. Great chemistry between these two, so this could be a future feud down the line. Alberto Del Rio get a 76, Nakamura with a 94. There were no skill improvements to comment upon. In the dirt sheet, of course, no associated hot storyline, and a few negatives for Del Rio. Probably dropped this down to where it is, with B-79. So that's why it was placed as the opener. So a good 2 points there for Nakamura. Of course, Del Rio has been eliminated. Next up, in a superb match, we had The Miz defeat Bobby Roode in 13:31 by pinfall via skull-crushing finale. Bobby Roode remains without a victory, and it's a B-83, so pretty good there. The Miz with a 94 in-ring performance to Bobby Roode's 74. There were no skill improvements to speak of in this instance, but that's a very good rating considering both gentlemen held back. The match was capped for short match length, and it was between two villains. So pretty happy with that. And the Miz just continues to get better and better. Next up, just a little promo for Enzo and Big Cass. We need to build them back up again. So we've run a little bit of losing run since Enzo took his injury. So B-77 here. And a good promo for Enzo and Big Cass. And they're in a fatal 4-way tag team match. And then about had some decent wrestling. But a little heat. It was Enzo and Big Cass who beat the New Day, the newly formed DIY. It's me just turned Johnny Gargano heel to join Tommaso Ciampa, and the Ascension in 12:49 when Enzo defeated Connor with a flying crossbody, and obviously Connor, Lee's Edge, was being the weak link. But C plus 71's pretty good given some of the overness in this match. Kofi and Big Cass not suited to gimmicks, but I'm still happy with how they're doing, so we'll keep it as they are. Big Cass with 74, Enzo with 65, Kofi with 77, 65 for Xavier Woods, 57s for Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Victor, and Connor with a very lowly 45. Kofi Kingston improves technical skills, but it's a good win for Enzo and Cass. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It could be a little bit better, but we need to build up DIY, and the Ascension are just kind of there. So something to real life with the Ascension. Next up, and about they had some decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. It was the team of Bayley and Charlotte who defeated Paige and Sasha Banks in 14:01 when Bayley defeated Paige by pinfall via Rose Plant. This is a B-77. Bayley just building up the challengers against the two champions here, of course, being Paige and Sasha. Charlotte's getting better at her gimmick. Unfortunately, Paige and Sasha don't work as a team, so that really affected the rating there. So it could have maybe even been a B+ if they were in sync. Charlotte with a 70, Bayley with a 73, a 65 for Sasha Banks and a 69 for Paige, so that definitely affected them. It continues both storylines in the women's divisions. No skill improvements, but as I say, if you take away the tag chemistry, that's probably into the B+, so very good, promising matchup for the women's divisions. Next up, in another matchup in the old World Grand Prix, it was an exceptional matchup that saw Finn Balor get the victory over Sami Zayn in 17:43 with Shingata Prince's throne. B80, obviously this is going to get the crowd buzzing, an 87 for Balor, and 93 for Sami Zayn. Just felt it was necessary to give Balor the victory here because he needs a couple of wins. A good few negatives here. Both men struggling for stamina. Well, that's worrying. A bit stage thing. Both are obviously baby faces and not in a storyline, so the fact this got a B80 when realistically it would have drew in the 90s if circumstances allowed it. Again, that's why it's placed where it is in the card. After it, they have a handshake. They accept. It was a good matchup, and then Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, who they've both been feuding with, just beat them down. This gets a simple A90 rating. Finn Balor and Kevin Owens come across as stars. It continues two storylines, and Randy Orton comes out of it looking fantastic as well. So good stuff there. Only negative is I can have as many good commentators as I can get, and it's still penalising the work of Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and John Bradshaw Layfield. Next up, and this is very pleasing, and about they had some great wrestling and good heat, the team of Apollo Crews, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, so nearly the Shield, defeated the Wyatt family's Luke Harper, Baron Corbin, and Braun Strowman in 16:06 when Dean Ambrose defeated Luke Harper by pinfall with a midnight special following a distraction from John Cena. Yes, this has actually happened. Braun Strowman just getting an A91 rated matchup. It happened, holy shit. Luke Harper was slowed down by his injury. 94 performance from Seth, a 95 from Dean, and a 90 from Apollo, a 79 for Braun Strowman, 81 for Baron Corbin, and an 84 for Luke Harper. So that's not too bad. We're still building them up in the fact that these matches will definitely get them over. And it continues two storylines, which is good to see. Luke Harper improves technical skills, Apollo Crews in performance. And your negatives here, low morale, capped. At the end of the day, the morale thing with Braun Strowman is just because he's missed a few shows because of the Grand Prix situation. Once we get the Grand Prix out of the way, we'll do our best to kind of get everybody's morale up, who's missed obviously special events and stuff. And because everything's going to be individual brands, they should be getting on more pay-per-views, so therefore we'll be happy. Bray Wyatt cuts his promo for his match with Cesaro. The promo was fantastic. Continues the G1 storyline or the survival storyline. It's a B plus 88. My worry here is that matchup before wasn't expected to do as good as it has, so we're going to rue not putting that as a co-main. But of course, we hear from the greatest power couple in WWE. It is, of course, all red everything Eva Marie and Cesaro. And it's the Hollywood, well, it's not really a Hollywood couple, but they'll portray themselves as that. A B plus 89. Cesaro was good, Eva Marie was poor, but again, it's going to help her get over. And despite the fact they are both heels, they delivered. And about they had sensational wrestling and fantastic heat. Bray Wyatt defeats Cesaro in 1829 via the standing senton splash. A91, Bray Wyatt was visibly tiring towards the end, but Cesaro at 96, Bray delivering a top 98. His performances have been outstanding, and it continues the storyline. No skill improvements here. And of course, if you take away the negatives there, if one of them's a babyface, one of the, if it's maybe put to 20 minutes, slowed down a little bit, it could be something special. We then get Roman Reigns cutting his promo about CM Punk, just saying, Punk, you came back, you failed in the UFC, and you're blaming people like me for your life being that way. And that's an A94, continuing the storyline, of course. We then get the hype video, just basically documenting Punk returning at WrestleMania, his first night properly back the day after, and then the whole feud between him and Roman Reigns. And it leads to the matchup. They've had a few good ones, they've had a few bad ones. This one is an A95, fantastic, and an exceptional matchup. Roman Reigns pretty much eliminates CM Punk from the tournament, defeating him in 2021 by pinfall. A95, fantastic, they've delivered. Punk with 90, Roman Reigns with 98, continues the storyline. Roman improves technical skills, and it's really opened it up between the likes of Roman and Bray for who wins this block. So delighted there, and that's going to give us an absolutely fantastic A94, which will improve our popularity in 43 regions. So outstanding performance for the team when you consider the lowest matchup, was the Fatal 4-Way Tag match, but everything else pretty much was solid. I can't say there was anything negative here. It certainly shows the company has made so many stars with this tournament. And that's one thing, as much as it's been repetitive booking, there's been a few downs. It's made so many stars, which, because we've got two brands now, means every pay-per-view should be stellar. But I think we'll give it to Roman, we'll give it to CM Punk, and I think the other one we'll give, to keep him happy, we'll give it to Braun Strowman. So Roman's pleased, CM Punk is pleased, Braun Strowman is pleased. Overall, just absolutely delighted with that. After a poor SmackDown, which I admit I did not expect to get such a low rating for, the 78 there, we've certainly came through with that. So delighted. Let's see, Tommy End is on the radio saying it's pre-match nerves. Cool. I've not really properly invested in a push for him. PWG looking at Andrew Everett. And Akira Tozawa. It's one of those ones, if he wasn't written in Dragon Gate, I would have signed him now. Unfortunately, he is. When his contract's up, we'll look to bring Akira in. 4.08 rating for ECW, it's probably the highest it's been. It's over 3 million viewers for our not development, but our up-and-coming brand. And as I say, the show got fantastic reviews as we confirm the pay-per-view deal of Mark Briscoe. Unsure if he's going to be heel or face, I'll see that. I've got it written down the storyline I want him to be part of. Who he attacks remains to be seen. Chad Patton, you have to get a new contract, we'll sort that out. It is now a historic event. because we've done 13 days of it. So I don't know how people feel about that. Let me know how you feel about the fact that it's not a historic event because I've just continually used the same event 13 times in quick succession. I suppose that's how you would work this kind of thing. 47.01 on television. Bobby Roode doesn't like Connor. Finn Balor loves Tommaso Ciampa. And of course, there's just the ECW rating there. I'll keep it up, so I remember to give Chad Patton contract soon. Apart from that, 179 million, still 2 pay-per-views to do, which of course would be the final for the WWE World Grand Prix and of course Survivor Series itself, so we'll make a shitload of money. Although I do feel I might spend just maybe 2-3 million, maybe even a bit more fixing all those morale issues. But if you look at it here, left off the WWE World Grand Prix, that's literally what it's going to be when most people say Undertaker off the Grand Prix. So it's one of those things, it's a negative because you're always doing these specials, everyone wants to go on them, and people that are missing them are going to be unhappy. But hopefully, financially we can help people and their morale issues. And if not, we'll let them go, we'll bring new people through, that's cool. But I'd like to think we can book people with morale issues better. A lot of people, Primo, Kane, Heath Slater, and Cara Fandango, are they really going to make it long term? Probably not. But there's a lot of issues. It was always going to be drawn up because of the way that it's going to be with the many special events, and it's just one of those things. But say, as always, thank you for watching. As I say, if you've got any predictions, who do you think will win it? Will it be Bray Wyatt? Will it be Roman Reigns? Will it be Sami Zayn with a comeback in this tournament? Who will win Block A? Let me know what your predictions are, guys, and I'll hopefully see you next time for Block B. So as I say, as always, any likes, comments, subscriptions, always deeply appreciated. As I say, any comments I'll get straight back to. And the same if you want to hit me up on Twitter. Link is in the description below. But thanks as always, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye bye.